Hello YouTube, welcome back to Jerry's NBA Talk TV. I'm NBA Jerry and thank you for watching. I want to talk to you guys for a little while about the Big Three in Miami and also the Cleveland Cavaliers franchise, the organization, and the fans. First, let me start off with LeBron James and how he left the Cleveland Cavaliers. Me personally, I didn't like it. For the fact that you've been with a team for 7 years and you just leave them without a phone call. I mean, he called the team at 9:01 to tell them that, but I think he could have handled that a little bit better. A lot of people are saying, he basically turned his back on the team and, he's a Benedict Arnold. I don't agree with that. He did what's best for him and his family. I just don't like the process of how he did it. I don't mind the hour-long special because what it did was it promoted our game more, meaning it, had a lot more people interested in what was going on in the NBA. That's what I liked. And also, he raised a lot of money for the Boys and Girls Club. Now, could he have gave that money to the Boys and Girls Club? Yeah, I know that. And did he do it for his own little ego? Maybe he did. That's for debate. But the bottom line is, I think he should have gave the Cavs a little bit more respect, and by calling them or sitting down with talking to them. But then again, now that we've seen Dan Gilbert's letter, maybe we're not looking at LeBron James' side. Maybe they weren't speaking, or he wasn't speaking to Dan Gilbert because him and Dan Gilbert was going through something. I don't know that, But it seems like now that he's gone, LeBron is gone, and Dan Gilbert has said all the things that he said about LeBron being a quitter and a self-proclaimed king and, basically a coward, and, he betrayed everybody. If he really felt those ways about LeBron, if he really felt that way, then, I wouldn't want to play for a guy like that neither. So, but for Dan Gilbert to say all those things about LeBron, if he felt that way, that's fine, But he's a 48-year-old man. LeBron's a 25-year-old man. Now, I understand LeBron is a very, mature guy, and he's well beyond his years as far as maturity. But he's still 25 years old, folks. He's only been on the planet for 25 years. He's still a young guy, so he's going to make some mistakes. When I was 25, I did some, questionable things too. So it's still no excuse for not calling his team. But then again, like I said, we don't know what goes on behind the scenes. We only know what ESPN and everything else tells us. Also, the Cleveland Cavalier fans, I've said this before, you guys have burned his jerseys and stuff like that. You have a right to do that, but, that to me is just saying that everything that LeBron did for the past 7 years made your team relevant, being the greatest player in franchise history, put your team on the map, did everything, made your, Cleveland Cavaliers a worldwide team. Everybody in the world knows who the Cleveland Cavaliers are, and everything that he's done, I just think he deserved better than that. That's all I'm saying. Also, with LeBron James actually making his decision with Miami, I don't have a problem with that. A lot of people are saying they're basically taking the easy way out, going with Dwayne Wade and stuff like that. People are acting like this is the first time this has ever happened. It's not. It's happened a couple of times. I mean, like I said before, all the great players, working threes. Larry Bird with his two other guys, Magic, Jordan with Pippen and Rodman, Kobe Bryant. All these different players have a lot of different players around them to win a championship. Nobody wins it by themselves. And he showed everybody, LeBron did, that he's not just here for the money. Now, did he lose a lot of money going to Miami? A lot of people say he lost $30 million and this, that, and the third. Me personally, I think he's going to make it up in endorsements. And also, remember, folks, in Florida, there's no state tax. So LeBron James is not going to go down there and just lose $30 million like everybody's writing. He's a very smart guy. But what he did sacrifice is he sacrificed some of his statistics, and also he might have sacrificed some MVP awards, individual awards. I mean, who knows? But for him to say, what, I don't want to be all by myself and try to win a championship. I want to team up with Dwayne Wade and Chris Bosh. I got to give him credit for that. And also, the Miami Heat are going to be a hated team around the NBA by a lot of different teams. They're also going to have a lot of bandwagon jumpers. We know this. A lot of people that were so-called Cleveland fans, they're going to be a lot of Miami fans out here. We all know this. So I'm not mad at LeBron for going to Miami whatsoever. I think it's very good for the league to have Miami go against the Lakers, two powerhouse teams. I think it's very good, because the regular season sometimes really doesn't matter, but it's going to matter this year, especially on the Christmas game. We know who's going to be playing on Christmas. But, back to Dan Gilbert, I really feel for the guy. I mean, if he really, meant those things he said about LeBron, then my question to Mr. Gilbert was, why would you want to sign him to a 6-year, $125 million if he's a coward, if he quit on you, did all these things. He got all these special treatments. They said that's what he said, that LeBron got all the special treatments. But the last time I checked, Dan Gilbert's the one that let him get those special treatments. So if you're saying that he's a quitter and he's all these different types of accusations that you said about him, then why would you want him to be on your team? Is it because he just makes you money? Because if he's really that way and he's that type of person or that type of player, why would you want a guy like that on your team unless he's making you money? So it sounded like to me he's either telling the truth about LeBron, he really felt that way, or he was just really bitter about what LeBron did. Also Dan Gilbert is the owner of the Fathead Company, the little things that you put on the wall, the little posters. His Fathead for LeBron was $99.99. He dropped the price to $17.41 because that's the year Benedict Arnold was born. I mean, come on, Dan Gilbert. I mean, you taking that a little too far, And he's also saying that in the next days or a couple weeks, he's going to give information about LeBron James, I guess private information or something like that, to slander his character some more. I mean, if I'm Dan Gilbert, just move on. LeBron James is gone. You made a lot of money off him. He doubled, tripled, quadrupled your franchise worth. He did what he had to do, but it was time for him to move. And a lot of people don't remember this, but in the trade deadline, LeBron James wanted Amari Stoudemire really, really bad. But Dan Gilbert did not want to give up J.J. Hickson because that's what Steve Kerr wanted. He wanted J.J. Hickson, but Dan Gilbert didn't want to do that. And Amari Stoudemire, if he was on the Cleveland Cavaliers, I think the Cleveland Cavaliers would have had a better chance to beat the Boston Celtics. But they didn't do that. They picked up Antoine Jamison. No disrespect, Antoine Jamison's a good player. But obviously he was a mismatch with Kevin Garnett. I mean, that was obvious. And LeBron James knew that. And he was upset with that. So, like I said, LeBron's a big fish in a small pond in Cleveland. Nothing wrong with Cleveland. I love the city. But he's down in Miami now, and he knows that it's going to be a better fit for him to win championships, team up with D-Wade and Chris Bosh, and try to make history down there. I'm not mad at him for that. So now LeBron James is going to be one of the most hated players in the NBA, which I don't think is fair to him. He's a nice guy. He's done a lot for the NBA, and because he left Cleveland Cavaliers and did his little hour special and things like that, people are, tearing this guy apart. But remember, folks, he's not a pioneer doing this, joining up with other great players. A-Rod did the same thing, Alex Rodriguez, when he left the Rangers. He left the Rangers and went with the Yankees, Derek Jeter's team. Mose Malone did it back in the early 80s. He went over and joined with Dr. J. Now, Moses Malone was arguably the best player in the league that year. He was the MVP, and he left and went with Dr. J. And guess what happened? They won a championship, okay? But now, LeBron James done the same thing with Dwayne Wade because everybody's saying they're not going to get along, not enough balls. I disagree with that. Here's what I think was going to happen. I think LeBron James will be the leader of that team vocally. I think Dwayne Wade will do a little bit more of his leadership as far as his play and things like that. But LeBron James is definitely going to be the vocal leader. As far as the Jerry's NBA question I asked the other day of who's going to be called last, Dwayne Wade will be called last because it's his team. He was there first. LeBron James will be called second to last, and then Chris Bosh will be called third to last. So we'll see how that goes. I think they're going to have a great season no matter who they pick up. Pat Riley gets some players. But, folks, like I said, this ain't the first time this has happened. It's happened before. But it's going to be interesting to see how it plays out. I can't wait. It's going to be a great season. So like I said before, Dan Gilbert with his letter, it was a very piercing letter. I hope that he just leaves it alone. He's got all the anger out of him and he just moves on. Because I've done that before. We've all done it. We've said things and done things out of anger and let our emotions go over the top. For instance, if you look at one of my videos I did maybe about a month ago, I did it after Game 3 of the NBA Finals. I was angry about the referees. The video, if you want to know, is called Disappointed. I was very angry, And then as soon as after I shot the video, and later on I said, man, why did I make that video? I was going to take it down. I was like, no, I'll give somebody, some things to laugh at. And I made fun of myself in the next video, because I knew I was just angry. I should have waited. I said I waited before I made the video, and I did. I slept on it, and then I got up, and I was still angry. I was still emotional. So, I made a mistake, and that's all there is to it. And before I go, I want to let you guys know that my 30 teams for 30 days special is still going to be coming. That's when I'm going to be breaking down all 30 teams in the NBA. I got a special treat with that also. I have a contest that I'm doing that I will announce on Monday, so stay tuned for that. This is the contest I told you about that's going to help you get more subscribers and also more views. So stay tuned for that. And I'll give you a hint. It has to do with the 30 teams in 30 days. So try to take a guess what that is. Thanks for watching. You guys know I appreciate it. And remember, folks, if you're angry, don't do anything while you're angry, because you won't like it when you're angry. That was kind of stupid, but thanks for watching. You guys know I appreciate it. And remember, folks, always, always treat people how you want to be treated, and everything will be okay. I'll talk to you guys soon. Peace.